Hey everyone, Vince Giordano, Juniata County Library. Each day I give you a short video to answer your questions, so ask us anything. Today's question is, how long has there been a library in Juniata County? We've officially had a library since 1966, so it's 54 years old, but actually the library goes back further than that. So back in the 1950s, there was a bookmobile club ran by a group of women, and at that time, they believed there should be a public library in the county. So in October of 1950, they wrote a letter to the county commissioners asking for money and help to build one and start one. And they did not get a response back from the commissioners for 6 months until April of 1951. And at that time, they just said, sorry, we can't finance it. And others tried as well to get a library going, including the local school board in the early 1960s, but no luck. It wasn't until 1966 that John Anstein, Dr. Eugene Saucer, and Grace Gus met with the county commissioners and agreed on an amount of money that the commissioners could give to start a public library. And then on March 21st, 1966, the commissioners made a resolution in their meeting to establish a public library for Juniata County. And then later on in that fall of 1966, there was dedication, and then the library was opened. And from 1966 to the late 80s, the library was in an old hotel downtown. And then at that time, a new library was built where it presently is. And the library has been there ever since. Going back through some of the history of the library, tells a lot of neat stories about what we did. And if you go onto our website, you can read a great history written for the library in 2016 by Jane Cannon Mort. But going also back to 1968, one of the big highlights at that time was there was a new bulletin board put into the library where community members could write like notes about things. And at that time, one patron wrote a really neat message. Our library has become a community center in the most wholesome democratic tradition for old and young, for the curious, for the student and the studious, for the learned and the learning. Hopefully, our library will continue to grow in books, in subscribers, and in community support, but it will always remain as it is in its atmosphere. And that was in 1968, so the library was only a few years old, and already it had that deep meaning and impact on people. So we have a great library in Juniata County, and your support at all times helps make it possible and continues to allow it to have an impact and really help those in our community today and all days coming after us. That's all we have for today. Please check out our website. We have a new service called RB Digital where you can check out e-audiobooks and listen to them, and there are no wait lists. Thank you, and ask us anything.